We provide information about sports betting for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm gambling regulations in your state of residence. To participate in sports gaming, you must be 21 years of age or older and be physically present in a state where sports betting is legal. If you or someone you know has a sports betting or gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org for more information and further assistance.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Spread Zone, the only podcast that takes you inside the numbers. And today we're talking college football.
Yes.
My name is Rizz, and as always, we're powered by our friends over at FanDuel. So, fellas, the season is getting closer, and today we're diving deep into the futures market.
Yep.
We're talking win totals, we're talking playoff contenders, and of course, the big one, the Heisman Trophy. And to help us break it down, of course, the best in the business, Mr. Tim McKernan.
Thank you so much. I am going to provide a winner on today's podcast.
So best in the business, and then there's Anthony.
Oh, no!
Hey, I'm here too. Thanks for having me, guys.
But Anthony, now we're in football mode, and this is where we deliver profit for the people.
There's no doubt about it.
Yep.
So, Anthony, are you ready to find some value here?
I can't wait.
What's your approach here? How are we going to break this down?
All right, so you guys probably have different approaches when it comes to narrowing down the college football teams that you're actually going to wager on. For me, it's imperative. There's so many teams, you have to start eliminating. So what are the criteria that you're going to use? For me, over the last 10 years, powerhouse defenses play. You better be efficient in your play defensively, or else you're not going anywhere. So for me, you better have a stout defense. Quarterback play, as we know, is paramount. More so in the NFL than college football. You can actually go with an efficient offense and not an elite QB and still be okay. But for me, the better QB you have, whether he's going to go into the NFL or he's just leading a very efficient offense, I think is key. Prolific running game. We saw that out of Notre Dame a year ago, how far a running game can take you in college football. I also like continuity in coaching, and you have to go with a power conference, right? That's Big Ten, SEC, or ACC.
We want to make some money.
It's time. It's time that we deliver ROI.
So let's talk about the top of the mountain. That's where we'll start. The college football playoff and national championship. When you look at the board on FanDuel, the usual suspects are right there. Texas is the favorite to win it all at plus 550 from what I saw last. Georgia and with Georgia and the defending champs, Ohio State, right behind them at plus 600. So, Tim, let me start with you. Is this a year to back one of the big dogs, or do you see value further down the list?
I do see value further down the list. And I'm going to give you a couple that I like that are certainly blue bloods, but not even in the top 6 of the odds, with it being Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, and Alabama.
And this is how we make money right here.
This is where we go value hunting. Rizz, I'm going to give you 2, and coincidentally, they play each other in opening weekend. Clemson and LSU. Clemson and LSU would be 2 that I would look at. Clemson is returning more starters than any other program of the Power 4. And what I have found, because Anthony gave his criteria for what he looks for, I love betting win totals over the course of a season. I certainly have a few of those for our listeners and viewers here on today's Spread Zone presented by FanDuel. And Clemson has 17 of their 22 starters returning from last year. And that is the highest total right there with another one that I am going to give you later on in the program. But as far as a team that is in the mix to win the national championship, I think Clemson and Dabo Swinney are back in the mix, and you can get them at plus 1,200. And then Brian Kelly, who is kind of oddly, even though he hasn't been there a long time, in a put up or shut up mode at LSU. Brian Kelly's team, which has started the season with losses year in and year out, they are right there as well for the national championship with Clemson. Clemson's at plus 1,200, and LSU is in the same category. They're just 1 behind Clemson. They are plus 1,700.
Anthony, so what do you think? You backing the big dog, or you see value further down the list?
So Tim beat me to the punch.
Oh, is that right?
Clemson. I think Clemson
is that right?
is
I didn't know you were on the Tiger.
Yeah, I'm on the Tiger. I think that Clemson is one of the best values on the board. So let's just start off with Cade Klubnik, right? Who's the best college football quarterback coming into the year. Now I know Lenore Sellers is going to get a lot of play here. Arch Manning, of course, has got the name, and he could have a big season. But Cade Klubnik for right now is the best quarterback heading into college football. Tim already highlighted all the returning starters. Clemson has one of the better defenses in college football this season, and I talk about coaching continuity. Dabo Swinney's been there forever. So I think Clemson at plus 1,200 is one of the better bets on the board.
All right, well, let's shift to the prop bet to make the college football playoff. So it's to make the college football playoff. Ohio State, the heavy favorite at minus 320, with Penn State at minus 290, Oregon at minus 240 to get in. Are any of those a lock, or is there a team with longer odds you like to crash the party? And we'll start with Anthony.
I like a team. You talk about betting value. That's what you led off with today.
To make the college football playoff.
Texas Tech at plus 490.
Wow.
Texas Tech at plus 490. So they completely
look at this guy.
bought their defensive line, and it's now one of the best in the nation. So they brought in all these transfers. The defensive line for Texas Tech is going to be outstanding this season. They've got a little continuity as well. Their quarterback is more tier 3 in Morton, but their rushing attack should be decent too. But I think Texas Tech, hitting the transfer portal this offseason, building up one of the best defensive lines in college football, projected starters coming in, you got incoming transfers that are big names. I think Texas Tech at plus 490 is a huge value to make the playoffs. I
will counter Anthony's plus money play, and I love that. I am real high on the Gamecocks of South Carolina. You already touched on Lenore Sellers.
Sure.
I'm in awe of him. Freshman last year, he led a team that I think was a bad call away from being in the college football playoff. They're a team that kind of flies under the radar. They're not an historic blue blood, and you're getting 4+ to 1 on your money for them. If there was one that you go, okay, what is the most lockiest of locks you can get for making the college football playoff, and then also not paying a ridiculous price on it? And don't get me wrong, you're paying a price. It would be Penn State to make the college football playoff. You're paying $290 to win 100, but Penn State, combined with their schedule and their amount of returning starters, is the one that when you think that the Big Ten's going to get at least 4 in, I'm going Penn State to make the playoff. South Carolina being more of I'm getting 4 to 1 on my money play.
Can I give one more plus?
Yeah.
It's Florida. The Florida Gators. Two NFL caliber defensive
Stalter.
line. I'm trying. I like this. Trying to make money for the people.
Yeah.
Tim.
God bless you.
That's why we're all here.
Damn right. 2 potential first-round picks, Rizz, along the defensive line for Florida. DJ Langway is the QB. He's getting a lot of fanfare. He's a stud. I think Florida this year could sneak up on some people, and they could make the college football playoff, and that's at plus 340.
What will be intriguing about Florida, because Florida and Oklahoma have the 2 hardest ranked schedules in college football, according to ESPN's Bill Conley, who I really enjoy following his data. Now, they start off with Long Island University. I don't know if you're familiar.
I'm not familiar with Long Island University.
Their work. I'd like to think we can count that as a W. But from that point forward, listen to what Florida has. South Florida, at LSU, at Miami, at home against Texas, at Texas A&M, versus Mississippi State, versus Georgia, at Kentucky, at Ole Miss, versus Tennessee, versus Florida State. Sweet mother of mercy. I feel like if they go 8-4, it would be a great year. Then the question becomes, do they get in based on strength of schedule versus record? They were certainly trending up at the end of the year. No question about that. And DJ Lagway being the reason. But man, do they have a difficult schedule this year. So that will be what will put them to the test, and also their health.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The 2 in the middle, Texas and Texas A&M, not that LSU isn't a big challenge as well, but LSU, you don't know what they are defensively. So if they can win a shootout in Baton Rouge, Texas and Texas A&M wind up being huge, and then you got to worry about Georgia. But you're right, it's a tough schedule, SEC.
It is brutal.
All right, fellas, let's take our first break here. It's the Spread Zone presented by FanDuel. When we come back, we'll talk about the most prestigious award. We'll talk Heisman Trophy. Don't go anywhere. Spread Zone presented by FanDuel. And we are back at the Spread Zone presented by FanDuel. All right, before the break, we were talking teams. Now we're talking players. Heisman Trophy race is always a fascinating market. Now, looking at FanDuel, Texas QB Arch Manning is the early favorite at plus 700. Right behind him, LSU's quarterback.
Garrett Nussmeier.
Garrett Nussmeier at plus 800. Clemson's Cade Klubnik is at plus 900. So, Stalter, I'll go to you first on this one. Arch Manning, legendary name, but is he worth the price as the favorite before taking a meaningful snap as a starter?
Yeah, it's tough, right? You know that Arch Manning's going to be good, but how good?
How good?
At plus 700, it gets into the value, right?
Right.
And we've done this before with certain players like Rory in previous instances of golf. You say, the price isn't good enough. So I'm gonna pass on Arch Manning. I'll give you two. One plays into the Clemson, which is obviously Cade Klubnik. Everybody remembers how bad he was against Georgia week 1 last year. And it's like, write him off. He had an outstanding season. I think he had like 36 touchdowns and 6 picks when it was all said and done, but everybody remembers the Georgia game. Cade Klubnik's going to put up a lot of excellent numbers. And here's one where I think it's like the safe play that pairs up with what Tim mentioned before. If you were going to go with a favorite to make the college football playoff, Drew Aller is going to have a good year.
Yeah.
He's got 2 incredible running backs. The offense is going to be good. Penn State's going to be good. They're going to make the playoff. I think Drew Aller at plus 1,600 is like the ultimate safe play. Not that I love him as a QB, but it's a safe play where he's going to put up good numbers, and he's going to win a lot of games.
Yeah, I like where you're coming from on the Aller play. I mentioned him in our first segment, Rizz. I love watching Lenoris Sellers play football. I don't know who to compare him to. This would be an overstatement. It's more almost video game than it is what actually wound up taking place in college. We saw more of it in the NFL. But Michael Vick, his escapability and what they are going to be able to have an opportunity to do in Columbia, South Carolina, he's plus 2,000. You were mentioning Aller, he's plus 1,600. So Lenoris Sellers is 8th on FanDuel's rankings of Heisman odds. Another one that I would keep an eye on, and we made reference to him as well, and he also is a plus 2,000, and that's DJ Lagway at Florida. That guy really looked like he could play at the end of the year, and Florida is trending in the right direction. So those would be my 2. And then if I was looking at a running back to go away from quarterbacks, Jeremiah Love at Notre Dame, he's plus 4,000.
CBC kid.
What do you guys know about Dante Moore, the new quarterback at Oregon? He's a transfer plus 2,500 going to the West Coast. And look at the history of quarterbacks in the Oregon system. They're always putting up like video game numbers.
Yeah.
Any value that you see to Dante Moore?
I could see some value in him. And again, in Oregon, we really haven't spent a lot of time talking about Oregon. Oregon's going to be, they won the Big Ten last year. Nobody remembers it because they got waxed in the playoffs. But Dante Moore, the only knock on Moore, and it's really not an individual thing, it's more the team, is that they're going to run the ball. They have one of the best rushing attacks in the nation, so I wonder if Moore winds up putting up the numbers. But Oregon's going to win. There's no doubt about it. Sellers, by the way, is built like McNabb and runs like Vic.
Yeah, that's a nice play. He's
240.
He's just something else. And I think if he quarterbacked a more blue blood program, it doesn't matter, SEC, Big Ten, or otherwise, I think there'd be more attention on him. Plus, they didn't get into the playoff, and he kind of had half his roster when they went against Illinois in their bowl game.
Yeah.
This guy is something special, and I am really looking forward to watching him play. Plus 2,000 win the Heisman.
All right, so we got the Heisman thing. Let's dig into the regular season and win totals.
No, this is where I specialize,
right.
Rizz.
And we'll start with you, Tim. But first, we'll take our final break because we love commercials.
Amen.
We love commercials. So we'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side. Spread Zone presented by FanDuel. All right, welcome back for the final segment of the Spread Zone presented by FanDuel. All right, it's time to talk win totals. This is where the real grinders make their money. Am I right, Tim?
Yeah, it's a macro bet, Rizz. It's season long. We reduce variance. We increase profitability.
Yeah, so let's start with you, Tim. Scan the board at FanDuel. Give me a play you absolutely love.
I would like to give you 3, and I will rank them in order. Number 1, I will give you the Arizona State Sun Devils. Arizona State and Kenny Dillingham, young man at 33 years old, and he got himself into the college football playoff, and I think probably is sitting there kind of going, we probably should have done better than we did. They were on the verge. It might have been the victim of a bad call against Texas from advancing in the college football playoff. Well, Arizona State is the team I was talking about earlier that has the most starters returning this year from a very good team, and their win total is 8.5. I love the over of 8.5 on Arizona State. Another one that I really like is Illinois. Illinois' win total this year is 8.5 as well. If you take a look at Illinois' schedule, I feel like you can already tell yourself you got 9 wins right there reasonably. They're taking on Western Illinois to start the season. They're at Duke. They're at home against Western Michigan, at Indiana, at home against USC, at Purdue, at home against Ohio State, at Washington, at home against Rutgers and Maryland, at Wisconsin, at home against Northwestern. It'd be disappointing for them not to get to that number with that schedule. I like that. And then I like Missouri over 6.5 wins as my final play. 6.5 strikes me as really low. Missouri is going to have a wonderful defense. The question with Missouri is the quarterback. Who will be the quarterback replacing Brady Cook? But those would be my 3 plays. Arizona State over, Illinois over, and Missouri over on their win totals.
Anthony, what do you think about my pick here?
Yes, sir.
Miami over 10 wins.
Wow, over
at
10.
plus 125.
Yeah, I was supposed to say you're probably getting plus odds on that, right?
Plus odds, plus 125.
So Miami gets former Georgia quarterback Carson Beck in, and Beck was,
Georgia's guy,
the dude at Georgia until getting hurt, and then, he flipped to Miami. Miami a year ago lost a couple of games, the Georgia Tech game specifically.
Ooh.
That they had no business losing. So if you just merely flip those wins, I like Miami a lot. I think Miami's a good play. Solid defense, continuity, rushing game, quarterback. They got it. They got it all. Maybe not in the top 10, top 15 in those categories, but I like them as a team.
Well, all right. So Anthony, give me your win totals that you totally love.
So I'll give you 2, and you're going to be waiting all year, but 11 or more regular season wins, Penn State at plus 105. All they have to do, assuming they don't trip up against anybody else, all they have to do is win one of the Ohio State or Oregon games. They match up well with Ohio State, and Oregon, they get it home. So win one of those, Penn State's going to be an 11-win team. The other team that I like is the one that we've mentioned a lot. It's Clemson. They have a plus 120 that you're getting at 11 or more regular season wins. Even if they were to trip up against LSU to start the year, they should go on a really good run. So those 2 teams, not the typical win totals, but 11 or more regular season wins, Penn State plus 105, Clemson plus 120.
Any other bets that jump off the page at you fellas?
I would be looking to. There's a couple of teams I think are underrated. I think Alabama's going to have a good year.
Alabama has 15 returning starters, Anthony.
I think Alabama's going to have a solid season. Their defense is one of the best in the nation. Alabama, I like. LSU weekly, and we'll do this weekly, but weekly, I like LSU to go over their team total. It's going to be high, but they're going to be forced to score a lot.
All right, what do you think of this bet? Tennessee to make the college football playoff at plus 8,000. So with the playoff, remember, 12-team playoffs this year, right? A 10-2 SEC team has a great shot. The Vols have a high-powered offense, a clear path to get that 10-win mark. Plus 8,000 is a pretty good price.
I'll give you that on the price. I don't know if they're going to carry over that continuity from a year ago. I don't want to burst your bubble, Rizz, because I can tell how much you like it. But with their QB, they swapped QBs essentially. The QB that was supposed to be the starter at UCLA is now the former Tennessee quarterback. And then UCLA, that kid transferred to Tennessee.
They made a trade.
Yeah, basically. So I like their defense. Their offense is supposed to be efficient, but I think there's too many question marks.
Okay. So that's a no from Anthony.
That's a no for me.
Anthony.
No for me, dog.
But I do like your thought process on that.
Again, I'm looking for value.
You're looking for value.
Plus 8,000. And with that, with that 12-team playoff expansion, some things are looking pretty juicy.
How about this? I don't hate it.
Okay. I'll take that. Tim.
As far as value obscure goes, Rizz, Mississippi State over 3.5 wins and Iowa State over 7.5 wins. That would be in the obscure category. But again, it's not about are you going to enjoy watching Mississippi State play football. It's about did I cash my ticket in the first weekend of December? And that's what we're doing here.
Right.
Can I interest you in if you drop Tennessee, can you pick up Texas A&M?
What are my numbers?
It's plus 235 to make the playoffs. But that, I think, is a sound bet.
Okay.
All right.
We'll go there.
Yeah, you're going to trade Texas A&M, Tennessee.
All right. So, of course, thanks to our sponsor, FanDuel. Head over to FanDuel Sportsbook for all the latest odds and everything we discussed today and more. For everybody listening, it's the Spread Zone presented by FanDuel. We'll see you next week to find more value and you have a chance to beat the books.
Yes.
We provide information about sports betting for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm gambling regulations in your state of residence. To participate in sports gaming, you must be 21 years of age or older and be physically present in a state where sports betting is legal. If you or someone you know has a sports betting or gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org for more information and further assistance.